intermittent fasting. There's been a lot of stuff been talking about that. I've done it, and it actually worked extremely well for me.
It's wonderful.
It's one of these things, and I'll tell you what I know about it, and then you can go into the technical stuff. So intermittent fasting is you are going to actually, I'm going to have you talk about where it comes from, where the word breakfast comes from, breaking the fast. So I'm going to have you talk about the history stuff. But intermittent fasting was taught to me. You're going to stop your eating, whatever time you stop eating at nighttime, you're going to count 16 hours from that point. This is the way I did it, 16 hours from that point.
Yeah.
And then making sure that whatever you put in your mouth after that 16 hours, that's where you're going to fast for 16 hours, is that we want to make sure we come back with heavy protein, good, true, pure protein.
That's the way to break the fast, correct?
Yeah, to break the fast.
To get the best out of it.
Because if you eat a bunch of crap, or we should say, carbs and that kind of stuff, then you're not tricking your body, because your body, when it goes into the fasting, it's hey, wait a minute, hey, what's going on?
There's a lot going on actually when you fast, and that's why there's a lot more research and excitement with fasting to help curing diseases.
Right, and you fast. I've seen you fast before.
I fast every day.
Like fast every day, but I've seen you fast like a complete weekend or something where you're just drinking water.
You could do a 24-hour, a 48-hour, or 72-hour fast.
Whew.
Actually, it was shown that if you fast 72 hours, you can reverse insulin resistance, diabetes. So we've done it with some people. Actually, it helps a lot.
Helps a lot. Wow.
You just lose weight, all the water weight, the inflammation, and the insulin start working again.
Right. Tell me about it. Where does intermittent fasting come from? And I know we're a lot different in our day and age now in the way that we eat, but back in the day, they didn't eat every day, 3 meals a day, 4 meals a day.
We did not. I mean, fasting actually started thousands of years ago when we were hunter and gatherer. Like you just said, we would hunt for animals, right? Wild games. And you would not get meat every day.
Right.
One day you can get a good catch. You have this animal, you eat for a few weeks, and then you starve.
Right.
So fasting started years and years and years.
Gathering and hunting.
And then even in the Bible time, if you read the Bible, they promote the fasting a lot. I mean, they recommend to fast and pray. We've known for thousands of years that fasting is really beneficial for the body. It's amazing. And one of the most important benefit of it, it helps to regenerate your organs, your tissues. Because when you fast, the body takes time to actually break down the old cells, the old parts of your body, and regenerate and heals those parts. That's why you feel more energetic. And it has been shown to slow down aging. Actually, it's one of the next thing they're going to promote a lot to really slow down how fast the body age today.
Very interesting.
Really fascinating.
That's very interesting. So, so how would you explain to somebody if one of your patients you wanted them to fast? What would you exactly? Would you basically do exactly what I said? It's a 16.
Correct. 16.
Is there any purpose why it's 16 hours?
Research has shown that 16 seems to be the best time to get the best benefit out of it.
I got you.
Some people cannot get 16 hours. Some people can do 12 hours or 13 hours, and then they need to eat food. So I typically tell people to really ease into fasting. Start with what you can do, 10 hours, and then slowly get to 16. It can take a few months, but the goal is to get to 16-8.
Now, what about coffee? Now, fasting is fasting,
correct.
But then you got those coffee drinkers that say, hey, I can fast food, but man, if you cut my coffee out of my life, I'm in trouble.
Actually, that's how I fast. So I skip my breakfast. I never eat breakfast, and I have my coffee. Coffee does not break the fast. Water or liquid typically does not really break the fast or the benefit of fasting.
Okay. And of course, that's where the term breakfast comes from. Break, fast.
Correct. The overnight fast, when you sleep, you don't eat for 8, 9, 10 hours.
Right.
So you break the fast. Funny enough, until about 100 years ago, we would eat protein to break the fast for breakfast. Now, 100 years ago, they started to come up with cereals and kolaches and donuts.
Right.
Like you said earlier.
A lot of carbohydrates,
It's a lot of carbs. Sugar. So when you break your fast with sugar, actually, there's no benefit to fasting anymore.
Right. So let's move on to ketosis. Let's talk about that. Um, Explain a little bit about what ketosis is.
Which
Ketosis,
is one of the
keto.
benefit of fasting,
Right.
actually. So ketosis comes from ketones. So when your body start burning fat, when you fast for a long time, your body will start burning fat. That's why fasting is so beneficial for weight loss, because you start burning the extra fat.
Sure.
And you start losing weight like crazy. So ketones come when you burn fat. Ketosis is the state that when your body use mainly ketones as a source of energy instead of carbs.
Uh-huh.
Okay, every day your body makes ketones, but when your body start using ketone as the main source of fat, of energy, it's called ketosis.
Okay.
A lot of people get confused that they believe that you're in ketosis, that you can have issues or health problems. That's not true.
That's not true.
That's not true. It's mainly true if you have diabetes. So if you have diabetes, you have to be careful with fasting.
I see.
Typically, it's harder for them to do the fast, and you have to really be slower and smarter with fasting.
I see.
Okay.
Well, now is this where thermogenics comes in? The heat, talking about, creating the whole scientific part of losing weight or we're going through the process of what we're talking about. We're trying to create, in order to speed up metabolism, this is where I'm getting at. This is a whole metabolism thing. People that are, the older we get, our metabolism obviously changes drastically than when we were kids. We could eat anything and stay skinny and what have you. And then you hit a certain point in your life and your body basically stops that kind of metabolism and it goes into a new metabolism. So if we're going to try to spike our metabolism and create thermogenics and ketosis and different things, could you explain a little bit about the scientific part of we're trying to create heat inside of our body? And
Correct. So when you get into that keto state, your metabolism is stronger, healthier, is up. When you have a stronger, better working body, you start burning more fat, right? And you do that by making more ATP. ATP is the molecule that your body makes to make energy.
I see.
Okay, so when you're in ketosis, your body is in a better state to make more ATP.
I got you.
More ATP, your metabolism is higher, you burn more fat. So you get in that vicious cycle, that cycle of burning more fat.
Burning more fat.
As you get into the keto
Right.
state.
And of course, you and I talk about the fat thing all the time. People get confused on what fat is good for you or not good for you, and protein. And you're a huge advocate of protein and fats.
Yes. I mean, if you want or reach ketosis, you have to cut your carbs out and eat a lot of fat. They recommend to eat about 70-80% of fat to be in ketosis.
It's amazing.
It can be more for some people, but in that range, it's a lot of fat. It's mostly fat.
So where the Atkins diet kind of came from, didn't it?
It's similar to that. The Atkins diet was mostly protein. They focused a lot on meat. It was meat.
Right.
Which is a bit too extreme. You have to balance it with fat.
Sure.
That's why the keto state or the ketosis seems to work better for people, because they eat more fat. More fat you eat, over time you don't eat as much. That's why it's easier to do the fasting, for example. Typically on a fast, 16-8-hour fast, you eat 2 meals a day. Because you eat a lot of fat, you feel full for hours, you don't feel hungry.
So really the whole 5 meals a day, 5 small meals a day type stuff is a myth, you're saying.
It is.
In this specific case, if you were going to have people do this kind of a diet.
For some people, it does help to eat if you work out, you're really active a lot during the day. It's important to fuel your body.
Right.
But fasting has been shown to be more beneficial. Than eating like every 2 hours.
Right, because we're not all athletes, and we're not all
Correct.
in the gym working out 3 hours a day and stuff. If you have any questions or answers, and obviously you can always call in or put it down at the bottom of the description, and we'll get back to you as soon as you can. Come and see us. We every other week, every other Thursday, we do our health seminar. We got our new one that's coming up on July the 16th. Yes, so you can check out Facebook with that, nutrition-houston.com. And appreciate it.
Awesome.
Dr. Serge.
Awesome. Thank you.
You the man.
Yep.